A recent survey by Publicus Asia reveals President Marcos's approval rating declined in the first quarter. Mr. Marcos received a 60% score, 4 points lower from the previous quarter in 2022. The survey also reveals 6 in 10 Filipinos approve of the president's cabinet. Mr. Marcos, who is also Agriculture Secretary, was both recognized as one of the best and worst cabinet members. We discussed these findings with Publicus Asia Research Director Claro, Gañac. Mr. Gañac, thank you so much for joining us. What do you think led to President Marcos Jr.'s approval rating dipping in the first quarter of this year? Why did it drop?
Mr. Marcos, President Marcos's approval rating has actually dipped from 62% to 60%.
Yes.
By this first quarter.
Why did it dip, Mr. Gañac? Why did it fall?
President Marcos has actually faced a number of issues and challenges in his first 9 months of presidency. Notorious of this has been the allegations of smuggling and hoarding of agricultural commodities, basically sugar, onions, and even other food items. On the other hand,
so Mr. Gañac, do you think that this this dip is significant? And could this be a trend that the approval rating of the president will continue to fall in the next quarter?
You'd have to actually relate this to context. No? First context, we have a new president, a new administration, and optimism, confidence should be very high. We're talking of very high approval, satisfaction ratings from the time of former President Duterte. He was averaging close to 70% approval rating. Now, this is now down to 60%. This is not an ideal situation. I would imagine that this type of trend mirrors more or less what happened to the term of President Noynoy Aquino. At the start of his tenure, he was very popular, very well respected. But by the time his presidency reached halfway, the population, the voting population, it showed erosion at the seams. Confidence became very low.
Is this an indication, Mr. Gañac, that our kababayans are more discerning with all the moves right now of our chief executive?
Yes, very much. If you don't just look at the survey data, if you look at social media engagement, you'd see that there is a growing disenchantment with the president.
And of course, if we break down all these numbers, we saw a dip by 3 points in Metro Manila for the approval ratings of the president, a drop as well by 2 points in Northern, Central Luzon and South Luzon, and a drop of 10 points in Mindanao.
10% in Mindanao, yes. Mindanao has been a loyal ally in terms of regional support. And the 10% is statistically significant. Most of the drops are statistically significant. He is, if you take a look at the specific demographics, the elementary school educated segments actually are showing also a growing disenchantment. The declines are statistically significant.
Let's talk about Vice President Sara Duterte briefly.
If I were
registering
to
a
estimate
67% approval rating, a percent lower compared to the final quarter of 2022, and she handles the education portfolio. Why the dip in the approval?
Sarah has always been ahead of President BBM before the elections. I think that is really explained by the Duterte factor. So Duterte still has some influence on politics in the Philippines. But what's important to note is the fact that Sarah's ratings have been maintained. No? There has been no statistically significant decline in her trust and approval rating.
Yes. Mr. Gañac, thank you
because-
so much for breaking down the numbers for us here on The Final Word. Thank you so much for the research. Publicus Asia Research
Yeah.
Director, Claro, Gañac.